A very quick disclaimer before we get into this video. I'm very sorry for the horrible drawing and the horrible writing. I suck at digital and physical drawing. G'day you crazy drivers, I've decided to make this video for people who are just getting into sim racing or are interested in dipping their toes in. Hope you enjoy the video, and if you notice I've made any mistakes throughout this, please tell me in the comments. I read them all. Like if you want more of this type of content, and yeah, let's get right into this. Now, I've decided to put blue flags as our rule 1 because it's easy to explain, easy to understand, and most motorsport series have them. Now, what are blue flags? Blue flags are waved when someone slower is being lapped depending on the sport you are in. It could have a different rule alongside it. For example, with things like Formula 1, that you have a specific amount of corners or time to let the driver that is faster by, whereas things like endurance and sim racing, a lot of the time there isn't a time limit and it's whenever it's safe to do so. Now for rule 2, I've decided to make it leaving space. Leaving space is important for cars that are attacking and defending. When you are side by side, it is always important to leave a car's width for the other driver. If there isn't a car's width left for the other driver, then oftentimes it leads to contact, and if that contact is not minor, then it can cause very serious race-ending incidents. For rule 3, I've decided to make it yellow flags. Yellow flags are something that is unanimous across all racing series and racing games. It may vary in how it's dealt with across the series, but most series have a basic step and progression of yellow flags from sector to safety car. And although the progression of yellow flags to such things like safety cars might vary depending on the series you're racing in, the normal basic outline of the rule is the same across it all. Now, what is a yellow flag? A yellow flag is waved when there is an incident or a danger on track. It normally specifies that the drivers have to slow down and cannot overtake. Racing is redundant in that area where the yellow flags are waved, and you have to lower your speed, you cannot go at a racing pace. For rule 4, I've decided to make it following a car ahead. This isn't necessarily a rule, but I thought it would be more important to add to this list, as often it is more important than most things in this video. So, if you catch up to a car that is slower than you and you want to overtake it, it's very important to learn how to follow them first, because a car being ahead means you have to change the way you drive and the lines you take around the track. This often includes braking earlier so you don't misjudge the corner, also because you will have more speed going into corners after, say, a straight due to drafting off of them. This skill is very important to learn, as so many things and incidents have been caused from it that honestly are race ending and major. If you look back on my race replays that I've live streamed and uploaded to this channel, you'll see that a lot of the time I have been taken out in T1 just because of someone behind. Maybe it might also be me or someone ahead not knowing, and not braking early enough. It causes major incidents, and you just don't want that to happen to you, and you especially don't want to be the cause of it. Following a car ahead also entails the principle of being patient behind the wheel, knowing when to make your move, knowing when it's safe, and knowing what they're going to be doing. Now, if you are being followed by a car, which often can be the case, especially at the start of a race, then it's important for you to know how to be predictable on track, just so you don't confuse them or make any incident happen that could be also of your cause. Now for rule 5, I've decided to make it holding your brakes, which is a phrase that you've most likely heard if you have ever sim raced with anyone before. So, what is this holding your brakes exactly? Well, holding your brakes is the act of, as it sounds like, holding your brakes when you're in the middle of an incident such as spinning. Now, it's important to do this after you've stopped or in the middle of it, due to if you come to a stop off track, say downhill of, notch life or something, you don't want your car to roll back onto the circuit where there will be other cars coming at you full belt. And even though there's yellow flags, you have to understand that you're off track. If you go on track, you will probably have a kick, or you will get at least a 10-second penalty. It's happened to me before, and I learned that mistake the hard way. Now, for our final rule in Rule 6, I've decided to make it rejoining the track safely, just because you're gonna need to know how to and when to more often than not. If you end up in an incident and you have to rejoin the track, then it's very important to know when and how. Rejoining the track safely is exactly what it sounds like. If you go off track, even if you're just wide on a corner and still going at full racing speed, it's important to always know what you are rejoining into. To know it's safe to rejoin the track, you need to look and make sure no one is coming up on where you are at racing speed. Even if they're going at similar speed to you, you need to make sure that their front bumper isn't in line with your wheel and you don't get spun around. Now, if someone is coming up on you at racing speed and you're at a standstill off circuit, then it's very important to let them pass, as to avoid any incident and avoid you getting a penalty for an unsafe track rejoin. Unsafe rejoins onto a track are a very common cause of an incident, especially when it comes to not looking where you're going and people not being able to see you through a blind corner. That will conclude this video. It's my first ever fully edited, fully voice recorded type of video on this channel. Please consider subscribing to Turn 32, and if you've noticed anything wrong in this video, please make sure you tell me in the comments. I know I might be wrong in a couple things, and I know that depending on what league you are in or what sport, then some of these rules may not apply and but most should. I understand there are a lot more rules to get going in this, but I just need to have this as a shorter video. If you liked this style of video, please consider liking the video. Also, it'd be a great appreciation if you did subscribe. I reply to all of your comments and I read them all. So thank you so much and hope you enjoyed. And drive safely, and until next time, I'll see you guys on track.